Hi, and thank you for joining me today. So my name is Odile, and we're going to be doing some Pilates stretch. Pilates is really wonderful for contracting the body, but it is also equally as wonderful for lengthening and stretching the body. And we know that, but so often when we are doing our Pilates exercises, we emphasize the contracture and use the stretches at the end. I like to use the stretches as part of the active routine, the fitness routine of Pilates, because stretching is in fact very fitness oriented in terms of it is pretty demanding on the body when done correctly and in alignment. And then of course there are those feel-good stretches which we just really love to melt into, and there's a time and place for that as well. For class today, you're going to need a ball if you happen to have one. If you don't, that's okay. You can just use your hands when we are doing exercises that are requiring the ball, or no ball. The other thing that would be helpful is a foam roller if you have it. So we'll probably be using one or the other. And for those of you with knee issues, I'm going to recommend that you pad up so that you definitely have maybe an extra towel, a couple of extra yoga mats or something like that. I don't recommend pillows because pillows tend to be a little bit like smooshy and they tend to wiggle around, but a towel is much more solid, or a blanket, something very solid, but with a little bit of extra padding. Okay, we're going to actually start on all fours and doing a little bit of the stretch. I'm actually going to take my socks off. I don't normally teach at home anymore now that I am back in my studio. So in a way, lucky you, get a little preview to my home practice. Spreading your fingers nice and wide. We're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we're just going to breathe into the whole length of the spine, inhaling through the nose, letting that breath funnel itself down into the back and bottom of the ribs. And the exhale is going to include an abdominal contraction. So that doesn't mean I'm rounding my back. It just means, I think of pregnant cat, right? The good old Pilates cue. Let your kittens hang out on the inhale. So really release the abdomen, but don't lose your posture of your bones. And then as you exhale, pull in your kittens so you feel those deep abdominals drawing all the way into the front of your body. Inhale, release the abdomen. Exhale, closing the pelvic floor and deep abdominals. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But think about pulling in the kittens that run the length of the front of your spine. So if you were a pregnant cat and your kittens would be hanging down, you're nestling them in towards the front of your frame without actually physically rounding your back. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure your shoulders are directly in line with your wrists and away from your ears. Last big breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. Okay, so from here, I want you to round your spine into a physical cat, feeling the stretching across the shoulder blades, the rib cage, but really emphasize the low back. And to emphasize the low back, go ahead and flip the tops of your feet down so the tops of your feet are pressing into the mat like where the laces of your shoes would be, and you're going to press down into that space. Notice how that really increases the abdominal contraction. Inhaling here. As you exhale, you're going to extend your spine to neutral and then towards an arch spine, but keep pulling in those kittens. Can you keep drawing them in and opening the chest? Inhale, exhale, press into the tops of the feet, rounding your spine, and emphasize the curl, not at the rib cage and the head, so don't try to push your head through your arms, but rather emphasize your tail curling under and through your legs as if you were a dog or cat trying to swing your tail all the way through to the front of your body, to the front of your mat between your legs. 1 more. Inhale, lengthen, but keep that core on. And exhale, curl, hollow and scoop. Think about pulling in those kittens, spreading your shoulder blades, pressing into your palms, but really scoop and swing that tail under through your legs and towards the front of your mat, and then bring it back to neutral. Okay, let's wag our tail. You're going to wag to the right and wag to the left just a couple times, making sure that we're releasing the pelvic bowl and the sacrum, not holding it stiff and still. Again, remember, we're emphasizing the stretching. The stretching definitely is valuable. It makes room for your bones, your joints, so that your body, when you're exercising, can move in the most effective way, least amount of pain and discomfort, least amount of grinding of bones in the joints. And then go ahead and curl your tail and sit back onto your heels. Stretch your arms forward, and you're just taking just a little break, giving your wrists a little bit of break, and then come all the way back up again. All right, so we're gonna have a seat on our mat. We're gonna do a little bit of rotation. So sitting up nice and tall as you exhale, spiral around. So my ask of you is not that you crank yourself around, but think about lengthening and getting as tall as you can from the root of your tail and the sits bones to the very crown of your head. Think of the stretching quality here. Can you pull up and in those kittens? So now not only are you pulling the kittens into the front of your frame, but you're lifting them up away from the floor, right? And then come back to center. And let's go to the other side, stretching up nice and tall. And sometimes tall comes with this posturing or this performative kind of aspect. And Pilates, I feel, is all about connecting to our deepest core, which to me implies authenticity. So can you authentically rise up? Maybe you don't stiffen up, but maybe you rise up just a little bit more, but it's coming from that deeper place, not coming from that superficial posturing. Good. And then let's go one more time, spiraling around, lifting up through the pelvic floor and core as you twist, feeling those kittens nestled in and lifting up, and then around one more time, pelvic floor lifting up, pulling in as you twist. Excellent. And let that go. So we're going to go back to the all fours position, but this time you're going to add your foam roller or your ball. I'm going to use my foam roller because I happen to have one, but if you do not, again, you can use your ball or you could just use your hands. All right, so we're going to inhale in this position. My hands are on the roller and I'm kind of sitting back just a little bit, okay? As I exhale, I'm actually going to stretch kind of in a flat spine. Can you see that? So I'm not rounding into cat, I'm not arching, we'll get there. But right now I want you to just go out in like a really nice flat back. So I'm reaching out, lengthening through my tail, pulling my ribs in just enough so they feel connected to my frame, inhaling here, and as I exhale, I'm going to take my tailbone, that curl of the coccyx is going to scoop under, hollowing and scooping as I pull myself all the way back in, and bring the foam roller close to me, circle the arms around and lift up. Exhale, circle my arms down, nod my head, reach my fingertips towards the foam roller, touch the foam roller or the ball or the floor or the mat, and roll back out. So I'm rolling just to my elbows. I'm not really going past my elbows. I'm just staying at my elbows, inhaling here. Exhale, I'm initiating not by dragging the roller in first, but by scooping my tailbone under first. Pulling in my kittens, which stretches my back. And as I do that, it really requires a lot of abdominals in the front. Yes, there we can feel the value of stretching and contracting married together. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and bring it down. Fingertips on the roller. One more time, let's roll that out. So like a rolling pin rolling across your mat or the ball, or even your hands, you can still visualize that rolling. And the reason that's beneficial, that visual of the rolling pin or something like that, is it gives a sense of groundedness to your stretch. So you're not floating, there's a density and a value to your body here that is weighted. Inhale, exhale, initiate with that tailbone scooping under. It's a little different, it's a little harder, because it would be much easier to grab with those ribs and pull those shoulders in, but really stay low in your focus, deep pelvic floor and abdominals, and circle all the way around. Back up. Good. Okay, so now you're going to do it on a diagonal. This will get into our obliques, which is not a bad thing. I'm going to try to be on one surface as much as I can. So my knees are on For me, my wooden surface, but again, if you need extra padding, please go ahead and be on your carpeted surface. So I'm going to twist my spine around to my left, still circling my arms around and lift up. Exhale, come down, nod your head, reach your fingertips to the foam roller. On your exhale, you're going to roll out, stretching away. Inhaling here. Ooh, I feel a massive stretch on that right side body. Now I want to maintain the integrity of the length, but I want to activate my deep pelvic floor and core right where those kittens are. Scoop, hollow, pull in. Really round and stretch. Circle around and up with the arms. Exhale and repeat. Diving down, lifting through the pelvic floor and core, feeling those kittens continue to draw in. Reach out, inhale. Exhale, curl that tailbone under. Hollow scoop and curl all the way in. Circle around. Last time. And bringing the hands down. Grabbing the foam roller, or really I should say touching. And then again, feel that pressing down quality, the reaching quality, the stretching quality. Inhale and exhale. Get that tail to scoop and swing under through your legs as you're hollowing and scooping, activating through the pelvic floor and core as you come all the way up. Fantastic. Yes, to the other side. Okay. So you'll see that my foam roller is just on a little bit of a diagonal. I'm going to sweep my arms up, twist around to my right, dive, head comes down, fingertips come down, rounding, scooping, stretching, elongate. Inhale. Exhale, activate the pelvic floor, curl the tailbone under. Lift those kittens into the front of your frame as you come all the way in. Circle and reach up. I'm still twisted to the right. I'm trying to not to turn my hips though, right? So I'm stretching and circling around, diving down, lifting my core connection into the front of my body. So it's very tempting to think surface, right? Am I just engaging my six-pack abs? We want to engage what's deep to those six-pack abs. Six-pack abs, let's say, is like the armor. And we want to get underneath that armor and strengthen what's underneath there, right? Yes, yes. Last one, inhale. So pulling those kittens in really strengthens what's underneath that armor. Exhale and reach and stretch. Inhale and exhale. Curl. Bring those arms all the way up. And nicely done. Okay, so you can move that out of the way. We're gonna lie back on our back. If you continue to happen to have a foam roller, great. If not, just grab a ball. If not, take the towel that you were kneeling on, roll it up and place it between your knees. So for those of us with the foam roller, if you have a towel and a ball, you could use that. So for those of us with the foam roller, we have our feet flat on the mat. The foam roller is between our ankle bones, inner ankle bones, and knees, okay? So I'm squeezing the roller with not just my inner knees, but I'm squeezing it all the way down to my ankles. I'm gonna take a pause here, inhale, and exhale, curl my spine up. So remember, we're thinking about the stretching quality of our body. So I'm stretching my back, squeezing my center, pulling in my kittens here. Let's reach the arms overhead. Exhale and roll down. Stretch, stretch, stretch as you bring it all the way down. In order to float those arms back up, slide the shoulder blades down your back and reach your fingertips to the sky. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the roller. Oop, I'm losing it at my ankle. Squeeze at your ankle, squeeze at those inner thighs, curl up. Really the ankles squeezing in help to align your lower legs, which are a big part of a good bridge. Coming up, legs reaching overhead, arms reaching overhead, that'd be kind of cool. Exhale and roll down. Imagine I've come and pulled your wrists which have stretched your arms and your shoulder girdle as you roll down the other way, gaining all that length, and engage your core as you return those arms back up. Last time, inhale. Squeeze the ankles in, curl up. Float the arms all the way overhead. Inhaling at the top. Exhale and rolling down one vertebra at a time. Okay, let's hold on to this position. So if you got the ball between there, great. If you got the ball in the inner ankles, that's fine too. We're going to bring our hands together into like flat palms, right? Arrow arms. I'm going to turn my spine to my right. So I'm turning to the right with my upper body. So you can see my head, my shoulders, and my rib cage rotated. My hips and pelvis and foam roller and feet did not. So use the foam roller and legs as an anchor. Use your pelvis as an anchor. So I'm turned, inhale, exhale, I'm gonna nod my head and curl up. I'm reaching off the right side of my knee, but I'm making sure my left hip is staying down, scooping in and up with my pelvic floor and core, and lie back down. We're gonna go right over to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, engage those kittens, pull them in, squeeze the foam roller, get that right butt cheek down as you angle your fingertips off to the left corner and bring it down over to the right side. Nod your head, curl, reach. So is this Pilates? Sure, right? Yes, there's a lot of, you can imagine crisscross. You can imagine some other exercises as we nod our head and curl, even saw, right? There's a lot of properties to this. But just because it's not a traditional Pilates exercise doesn't mean we can't apply Pilates principles. So we're engaging the pelvic floor and core, pulling in and up through those kittens, reaching through the fingertips, anchoring the pelvis, keeping it level, and coming down. Can you feel those obliques working to stabilize you? Exhale. Square those hips up, nod your head, curl, and reach. Zip up through the pelvic floor and core. Good job. And come all the way back down and let that go. Amazing. Okay, so from here, let's stretch that out. Again, thinking about the lengthening quality. So here I am on my stomach, and I'm going to place my palms directly under my shoulders, roll my shoulders back, press into my palms, and come up. Now I don't need to come up high. I want to think long. So the stretch isn't coming high necessarily. It's how long can I be on my mat? Can I activate my interior core muscles, pull in my kittens, and then come up? Inhale, exhale, and roll down the front of my body the same way I did with the back of my body in bridging. Inhale, exhale, shoulders roll back. Make sure your pubic bone is pushing down into the mat. Pull your elbows backwards as you open your chest, and think about lifting your hip bones off the mat. Not just your rib bones, not just your chest, but your hip bones, which are just above your pubic bone. Float those off the mat too, and notice the stretch in the front of the thigh. It's called a hip opener. One more, inhale. Exhale, shoulders roll back. Open through the chest. Keep pressing the pubic bone into the mat. Float and open, lift the hip bones and the navel and the ribs and the chest. Big breath and coming all the way down. Beautiful. Press up and let's sit back. Little child's pose to pause. One more breath. Great. Okay, we're gonna come on up. One more thing on your knees. If you don't want to do this one on your knees, you don't have to. You could do it seated. So we're gonna take our left leg, open it out, open the arms out as well. We're gonna come down, try to touch the mat. Exhale, coming up, using your abdominals on this left side as you side bend over, come back up, and coming down. Inhale. Exhale, pull up through the pelvic floor, deep abdominals. Now, the discipline is, can I use these deep muscles, right? If I'm cheating, I use momentum. One more. So we're looking for not only the length, but here, it's the discipline of the practice. Ooh, yes. and coming up. Good. Let's do the other side. So right leg out, both arms out, coming down. Inhale. Exhale. Using these right side muscles to float up. And those kittens, right? I'm pulling in. The kittens really are the transverse abdominis. Well, they're really the organs, but what pulls them in is the transverse abdominis muscles. Inhale, exhale, coming up and over. And one more. Big breath in and exhale. Lift, side bend. Fantastic. And come all the way up. Okay, tuck those toes under. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, lift and walk in place. And 6, 5, 4, 3. What about those kittens? 2, 1. Good job. So lift your heels way up. Exhale, stretch your heels way back. Inhale, bending your knees. And exhale, sit back down. Reach your fingertips and arms forward. And one big breath to relax. Breathing in. Exhale. Bring it on down. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today as I crawl over to you. There we go. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the lengthening qualities. This is just a little 10, 15 minute, I don't exactly know how long it is, but again, the intention is to lengthen and strengthen, not just contract and strengthen. So I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so that next time I post a video, you have an indicator or notification that lets you know that I've put something down. Gosh, I'm just so grateful that we all practice together and we inspire each other. And I wish you a really wonderful day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Have a great day. Oh, any comments you want to leave, please leave them. I would love it. Okay, thank you. Bye.